We have made it to week 4 of Action Research, and our objectives this week are, first of all, to collect our quantitative and our qualitative data. We're going to begin collecting our two sources of data this week, and you might only be collecting data for a 2-week period. And I know what some of you are thinking, how can you prove that a strategy is working in 2 weeks? But I want to just remind you that our goal for Action Research is to learn the process, to learn the steps, and to practice the steps of Action Research. So we'll be committed to do it in the future. We're not trying to write the most defendable research-based double-blind placebo study in 7 weeks. We just want to learn the process. So I want you to practice collecting your quantitative and qualitative data over the next couple of weeks. You can do it longer if you like, but if you only do it for a couple of weeks, that's fine. You might have 5 or 3 or a couple of data points each of those weeks for each of your data sources, and that is okay. Remember, when you're deciding what you're going to collect for your data, that in your paper, you're going to chart or graph each type. So, for example, as part of your quantitative data, you're going to have at least one chart or one graph illustrating the results. And then you'll also give a narrative analysis of the results of that data. Same thing with the qualitative. You'll have at least one chart or one graph to show the qualitative data. You can have more than that, but that's the minimum requirements. The second objective for this week is to determine our research design type or types. You might have one type or two types depending on whether your two types of data, your quantitative and qualitative, are the same research design type or whether they're different. So your two types of data might be the same or separate, so you might have one research design type or two. And there's several activities this week that will help you determine your research design type or types. The assignment for this week is an action research planning guide, and it's just a 10-point assignment where you're going to, for the very last time, tell me what you're doing in your project. And it's just more for me than for you to take one last look at your project to make sure that it's going to be doable and workable. But what I want you to know about it is if some of it has changed since what you've included in your abstract, so maybe you've decided to change your strategy, or you've decided to change the way that you're collecting the data, and so your abstract has different information than what your research planning guide will have for this week, that is fine, because action research is a very fluid process, and you might have changed your mind on a few things. But I just want to see it this one last time to make sure that we're good to go there. There are some sample there's a sample action research planning guide in your Moodle shell this week, so you'll be able to look at that and get an example of what we're needing for the week. So have a fantastic week, and as always, you've got my cell phone number, my work number, and my email address, so don't hesitate to contact me if you have questions. Have a blast collecting your data, and I'll talk to you next week.